today we are just going to talk about the plant tissue cultures. ரோஜா இப்பதான் வராங்களா? Please fill in your attendance, okay? Before you end the meeting, fill in the attendance, okay? Yeah, today we are going to see about an introduction class on tissue culture. What is tissue culture? You have heard many things about tissue culture. திசு வளர்ப்பு பத்தி நீங்க நிறைய படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. திசு வளர்ப்புங்கிறதே வந்து it is for regarding the plant tissues தான், because only the plant tissues have the power to regenerate themselves. It is called totipotency. Each cell of the plant can be regenerated to give the whole plant, which can further breed and produce new plants, okay, which can breed. Breed means which can produce the F1 generation, and then it can pass on to the next generation. So plants only have that capacity because of the quality of totipotency in each of the cells, each of the plant cells having regeneration capacity. Morphogenesis அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Just like humans, we have it in our stem cells. With the use of using stem cells, we can create each organ now, but still it has not been put to much use even at this century. And a plant tissue culture has been in practice since over 100 years ago. Minadiyala, they didn't have a lot of laboratory and sophisticated conditions. Still, they would practice it under a bell jar. They would keep it in the shade for some time and in the sunlight for some time. They used to keep the humidity in check using the bell jar. You would have heard of bell jar. So they used to have minimum amount of glassware and chemicals, and they used to practice tissue culture. So now tissue culture is a booming technology. It is highly advantageous over the traditional plant breeding experiments like. So tissue culture is actually in vitro cultivation. So cultivating it in the glass chamber. In vitro cultivation of a plant cell. You can either start with a single cell or you can start with a tissue. If you start with a tissue, it can be a callus tissue or it can be an explant. Explant is any part of the plant. It can be a leaf bit, it can be a stem bit, it can be apical meristem, it can be a root tip, it can be a shoot tip, it can be a bud, it can be a petal, okay, it can be anther, it can be a ovary, it can be a nucellus. So any part of the plant, in a small bit of any part of the plant is called explant. So either you can use the whole the explant to grow the whole plant, or explant is the first step, first requirement. Explant is grown normally in a culture medium which supports the growth, which supports the multiplication of the plant cells, and these explants, they lose their original structure, and they develop into a what do you call it, a callus. That is the unorganized growth on all planes. So ஒரு ஒழுங்கற்ற முறையில் பகுப்படையும் தன்மை, ஒரு டியூமர் மாதிரி. No, it becomes like a tumor and it grows as a unorganized growth, which is called a callus. All the explant, suppose the leaf is used as explant, first the green coloration is gone, the leaf or a structure will be gone, and then you will only see an unorganized mass of cells. So it is pale in color, so it is called callus. So you can make many bits of the callus, and you can use each bit of the callus to to regenerate the whole plant. So in tissue culture, either you use the explant, that is directly the part of the plant, or you can grow a callus and then use a bit of the callus to regenerate the whole plant. So explant culture, callus culture nu solluvom tissue culture la. So in this, it's an in vitro cultivation of plant cell or a tissue under aseptic. Definitely the condition should be aseptic. And you should have all the kinds of sterilization techniques available. Controlled environmental condition, you need all the environmental factors which affect plant growth outside the laboratory is going to affect more when it is grown inside the laboratory. So pH of the medium, the light, the darkness, the humidity, okay, the chemicals which go into the medium, okay, that which controls the supply of nutrients, okay. So all these are environmental conditions which have to be controlled. So you can grow it in a liquid medium or in a semi-solid medium. Why it is to be liquid medium is preferred because the cells are bathed on all sides by the nutrient, because the plant cell as a whole can absorb the nutrients. So it is always better if you start the tissue culture growth using a liquid medium, and then when you have a certain amount of growth you can transfer it into a semi-solid medium where you have agar, not a very highly solidified agar, it is a semi-solid medium, so that you still the plant still gets water in a high amount. So you have a liquid medium or a semi-solid medium. Now you can either use it to regenerate the whole plant, or you can use it for production of primary metabolites, or you can use it for the production of secondary metabolites. When you want to use tissue culture for production of primary metabolites, like particular kind of sugar molecule, if it's a particular, for example, if stevia is a plant which produces a kind of sugar. They say for diabetes it is very good. So it gives the taste, but it doesn't increase the blood sugar level. So stevia produces a metabolite, and the plant can be the explant or the callus of that particular plant part can be used for the continuous production of this kind of primary metabolites, so that the cost of production will come down, and you don't have to grow the plant in large numbers outside in the field. So labor will come down, cost of production, cost of purification will come down. Okay, so a lot of advantages are there. So nowadays tissue culture is used for production of primary and secondary metabolites, or if it is going to be for higher mass production of plants as such, for developing a forest, for a reforestation, okay, or for an afforestation, to make a to convert a desert kind of environment into a slightly manageable one. So in that case, if you want many tree plants, only thing option is available is tissue culture. So either you regenerate the plant, or you want to get some primary metabolites and secondary metabolites, maintaining the plant in its callus culture itself. So this technique affords alternative solution, because now many plants are under extinction. You have you have to redefine the flora and the ecosystem. The biodiversity has to be maintained. The floral biodiversity has to be maintained. So you need a lot of other techniques apart from the traditional plant breeding techniques and propagation techniques. Normal nama grafting, layering, இதெல்லாம் வந்து traditional plant propagation techniques. They won't yield results in a very short period, and you won't get many. பத்து graft பண்ணீங்கன்னா அதுல ஒன்று தான் it will really grow to a normal level plant and give some result. But in this case, if you use a tissue culture with 1 millimeter bit of callus, you can make 100 plantlets with 1 millimeter bit of callus, or maybe even 5 millimeter bit of callus. You can make 100 plantlets, which are with a proper controlled conditions. If you give, all the 100 can become regenerated. No, all the 100 can be regenerated into commercially good plantlets. So like that, you have the tissue culture, which is really of advantage nowadays. So advantages, you have lot of availability of raw material is there in drug companies, when you have certain plants which are having very good effect against any kind of diseases or anything like that. Now if you want more of raw material, you can't be going to forest areas and finding out about the plant, where it is and all that. It is laborious and time consuming. In that case, you just need an explant of that plant, any part, bit of the plant, either stem or leaf, so that you can bring it back to the laboratory, give it the proper conditions, and get the drug of your choice. So fluctuation in supplies. So suppose the supply is not regular of a particular plant, you don't get in this season, you don't get. But taxonomy you are saying anonesi வந்து நமக்கு Jan Febல தான் வரும். After that you won't get it even for your study practicalsக்கு கிடைக்காது. So in this case இந்த மாதிரி drugக்கு வந்து you need some particular plant அப்படின்னா continuous production of a drug, if you need a plant supply seasonal இருந்ததுன்னா it is very difficult. In that case, if you have a laboratory attached to the drug production company, anytime you get the drug. And patent rights are also very high. Now if you have a plant based drug, you get very high recognition on your patents, just like you have got it for curcumin in turmeric, and what is that, Azadirachta indica, neem based oil. So you get very high patent recognition. And then definitely political reasons are there, where you share your knowledge and your procedure or your mode of production. You can sell it, you can, it increases the economy of the country, it highlights the economy of the country. Easy purification of the compound, I already told you. You can also modify the chemical structure. If you know the chemical structure of the compound, you can increase the enhance the efficacy of the drug by changing the computers. They will feed the chemical structure, they will modify the chemical structure, and then bioinformatics tool வச்சு இது வந்து இந்த வைரஸ்க்கு எதிரா வேலை செய்யுமா செய்யாதா அப்படின்னு நம்மளால கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். ஸோ கெமிக்கலா ஒரு மீத்தைல் குரூப் அட்டாச் பண்ணா இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்கு பாண்டிங், வைரஸோட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பாண்டிங் நல்லா இருக்கு. ஸோ வைரஸை தாக்கக்கூடிய தன்மை வந்து இன்னும் அதிகமா இருக்கும். ஸோ யூ கேன் adjust the chemical structure, then you get disease free. So when you grow plants on the field, the plant might 50 plantlets இருந்தா அதுல ஒரு 10 plantlet disease வந்து செத்து போயிடும். So in this case, you can actually produce disease-free plants using disease-free raw material. So definitely for crop improvement, you get high yield varieties when you use tissue cultured varieties. You can have knowledge about the biosynthetic pathway. இப்போ ஒரு drug productionக்கு வந்து இதுதான் pathway, A to B, B to C, C to D அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து நமக்கு எந்த இடத்துல நமக்கு வந்து அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ப்ராடக்டை வந்து அதிகமா உற்பத்தி பண்ண முடியும்னு தெரிஞ்சதுன்னா we can study the biosynthetic pathway using tissue culture plant, because you don't need the whole plant. Otherwise you have to take the whole plant, extract the ada ஒவ்வொரு படியா வளர்க்கணும். 1 day plant, 2 day plant, 3 day plant. Okay, so each day you have to collect a sample and see what is the chemical nature of the chemicals present. So அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் you cannot do it in traditional techniques. In that case, tissue culture, 1 day callus, 2 day callus, 3 day callus, it is very easy to manipulate, and it is very easy to take readings. It is very easy to extract the chemicals from the callus. You just have to grind the callus. It is very difficult to collect the plant and come and grind the leaf. Leafல இருக்கும் இருக்காது சொல்ல முடியாது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி பயோசிந்தட்டிக் பாத்வேஸை பற்றி நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா tissue culture method is a very good method. And definitely immobilization of cells. Now even if you don't need to use various callus cells தேவையில்லை. ஒரு set of callus culture வந்து you can immobilize it in an inert medium. It can be a glass bead, it can be any kind of nitrocellulose beads, அந்த மாதிரி inert material which doesn't react with the environmental conditions. Inert material immobilize பண்ணிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா you can use it for a whole year for preparing the particular. You just have to make arrangements that the medium or the nutrient surrounds the immobilized callus. So அந்த மாதிரி you have a lot of advantages using tissue culture technique. So this is the general procedure involved. So you have sterilization is the first step actually. You have to sterilize every single thing you are going to use for tissue culture. Okay, tools, glasswares, vessels, water, medium, the place where you are going to do the work, everything has to be totally, absolutely sterile. Then explant has to be sterilized. See, sterilization of the explant is totally different from the sterilization techniques you're going to use for glasswares, tools, and vessels. In this case, it is going to be some chemical which is not going to affect the explant, life of the cells in the explant. And at the same time, it has to remove all the microorganisms, all the contaminants from the surface of the explant. It should not penetrate the explant. So in this sterilization of glassware, tools, vessels, it will penetrate the particular container. No, conical flask வெளியில sterilize பண்ண போறாது. Sterilization has to be done inside the flask also. Only then, whatever medium you are preparing, it will be free of microorganisms. In this case, explant வந்து உள்ள எல்லாம் sterilize பண்ணா செத்து போயிடும் எல்லா cells-உம். So you have to use a different methodology for sterilizing the explant. Then you have to, next step will be production of callus from the explant. Either you can produce the whole plant from the explant. There is only going to be a change in the medium. The medium explant length direct embryo kondu varalam, and then you produce the whole plant. Or explant length callus, from callus you proliferate and to convert it into embryo, you get shoot and root thing, and then going on for the further growth. So proliferation of the cultured callus, subculturing of the callus, it has to be done routinely. In the steps allam vandu, once you start working with tissue culture, you have to continuously keep on doing this, because the callus should be it has to survive, and it is very very vulnerable. It is not so hard, it is very soft. நீங்க ஒரு நாள் வந்து நீங்க அதை பார்த்து சரியான கண்டிஷன்ஸ் கொடுக்கலன்னா அடுத்த நாள் it will get browning ஆயிடும். Callus வந்து it will become brown and it will die. So it has to be repeatedly subcultured. Best is suspension culture, because it will prevent dryness, and the cell will be always bathed in the nutrient medium. So you will not have many dead cells when you use the suspension culture in your tissue culture. So this is generally how a tissue culture rack looks like. The whole room is totally air conditioned. It has to be, the temperature has to be optimized for whatever you are growing. So each growth has a different optimal temperature. So you have to know for the algal, in the plant, explant, what kind of temperature you need, you have to optimize. Adhe madri lighting also. So this is essentially a tissue culture rack where you have the glass test tubes fitted with airtight, what to say, airtight corks, in case to prevent contamination. So this is how generally a tissue culture rack or a tissue culture room looks like. So these are the required facilities. Definitely you need, each one of it is required. So you need, media preparation should not be in the place of inoculation. It should be separate. So you should have a separate room for media preparation. You should have a separate room for sterilization of the media. You should have a separate room for storing the media. And then it should not be inside the inoculation chamber. So inoculation room should be totally separated from the media preparation, sterilization, storage. And you need a separate washing room. And I told you already, you need a separate media preparation room. You need water, which has to be distilled. And you should know exactly distilled. You shouldn't have any kind of ions, residual ions. It can be a double distilled water or ionic water. You get. Then you need a transfer space. So inoculation room, it has to be separate with the proper laminar flow. That's a culture room in which you store the cultures. You have subcultures. Okay, so on the madri, you need a separate culture room for storage. Glasswares, microscope, shaker, autoclave chamber. Shaker is normally for the medium, homogenizing the medium. Okay, then autoclave chamber, tools. So you need spatulas, scalpels, tweezers, like forceps, scissors. All these equipments, basic equipments are required. Then definitely when you the callus is grown, when there is a morphogenesis taking place, you need to transfer the tissue cultured plantlets to a greenhouse, because it has to go in for hardening சொல்லுவோம். The steps between the laboratory and the field is called hardening. So you need to provide a place. Immediately you can't put it in the sunlight, under the sunlight as a normal plant. It has to be gradually done. So you definitely need a shade house or a greenhouse. And definitely last, you need a record keeping. So every day's growth you have to record. Every single chemical you add in the medium, you go optimize the medium for maximum growth, you need to record it. So you need a record keeping room separately. That's what I've already told you. When you talk about equipments, storage facilities, aseptic chamber, culture rooms. Culture rooms should have fully incubated incubators. Has to, you for tissue culture, it is best to have a walk-in incubator where you can just walk in. The whole room is an incubator. You don't have a separate incubator as an equipment. The whole room should be converted to an incubator. It has to be temperature controlled, humidity controlled. Okay, and yeah, the culture rooms should be equipped with temperature and humidity control. Okay, and then you need computers for data processing. That is the basic requirement. When you talk about equipment and apparatus, definitely you need culture vessels. You have specific dimensions which are used for tissue culture. சும்மா நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ற டெஸ்ட் டியூப்லலாம் பண்ணலாம், but if you want to get maximum results, you need to provide that particular that because oxygen is required. So if you use a very small glass vessel, the callus will not get enough oxygen. So you need to use a specific dimension culture tubes, large test tubes, or you can use conical flasks. Otherwise, you need other things are pipettes, measuring cylinders, all these you know already for laboratory basic requirements, glasswares for the laboratory. So washing facilities are very, very, very important because every place should be clean and residual chemicals எதுலையுமே இருக்கக்கூடாது. If you are using the same pipette for transferring 2-3 different types of explants, it will die. So you have to wash it repeatedly. So in that case, you need a full-fledged washing conditions, facilities. So you need fresh water supply, disposal of the wastewater. So in this case, it is a distillation unit must be definitely installed. Okay, so you need both distilled as well as double distilled water and deionized water. All these types of water has to be there if you are running a tissue culture facility. And then you need a sink or a wash basin which is acid or alkali resistant, because you will have to clean the glasswares, used glasswares with potassium dichromate, which is acidic. In that case, it has to be, because in this tissue culture, you have a lot of washing to be done. Before sterilization washing, after, when you're going to dispose the dead cells or dispose the plantlets which are not growing properly, and you have to prepare for the fresh another tissue culture experiment. That case also you have to wash. So every time you use potassium dichromate, it's going to be acidic, or you will also be using high bases also, doing that, because you are that is also important for decontamination. So in that case, you need a acid or alkali resistant sink or the work table. This is the what is the requirement for a washing room. Basic requirements for a washing room: should have a sink and resistant, acid resistant, drying racks. You can't be keeping it as wet. You have to immediately dry it. Then oven drying it, air dry pannite, you have to keep it inside the oven for drying all the washed glasswares. Okay, and then whatever is required, dryers or a washing machine, idella on the too much of ones which are those which are very sophisticated labs will have dryers and all that. Storage racks, disinfectants, and oven. Equipment, very simple equipments. You need a spirit microburner, autoclave, hot air oven, pH meter. It's all basic equipments which any laboratory, science laboratory will have. Incubating chamber, laminar flow, BOD incubator for maintaining constant temperature to facilitate the culture of callus. Media preparation room, you should have a separate room for storage of liquid chemicals, storage of solid chemicals, okay? And then you have a bench, pH meter, scales, all the balance, the what to say, physical digital balance. Okay, even in a media preparation room, it has to be done aseptically. After the preparation of media, transferring the media, all that has to be done aseptically. So you need a freezer, all the requirements, and definitely AC. It has to be an AC room. Sterilization room, you have a ISI mark autoclave. You can use pressure cookers, but not for large amounts of sterilization. You need a proper horizontal or vertical autoclave. This is the laminar airflow for transfer of culture and then transfer of explant, inoculation. All these things you need a laminar airflow with a proper UV tube fitted on the ceiling and a Bunsen burner. So in that case, you will need a laminar flow. You can work without a laminar flow also, but you will have definitely contamination. You have to use more labor if you don't use a laminar flow. Laminar flow, definitely the contamination percentage becomes less than 1% if you use a proper laminar flow. And then incubator, it's a BOD incubator with 2 to 40. Definitely for incubating plantlets or callus, you will not go beyond 37. Beyond, actually, it will not be even 37. It will be some 24, 22 and the range la dhaan irukum. So, but you have a higher set as 40 and lower set as 2. And an automatic digital temperature recorder and lighting up to 10,000 lux, depending on what is the plantlet, what is the callus, you need the lighting. You have to optimize everything. There is no fixed thing. This plant will require this. Every callus will have a different requirement which you have to optimize. You have to take care of the relative humidity also. And then finally, the data collection. You need everything has to be recorded, and each how much of medium you have taken, how much of glassware, how many glasswares you have used, everything is recorded. Normally in any laboratory, any research laboratory or commercial houses, everything is accounted for. So today, how many glasswares you have taken, how much of medium you have taken, how much of water you have taken, how many hours of sterilization, I mean how many hours of what to say, autoclaving you have done. Okay, how much of incubation you have done, every bit of information is recorded, so that the next you can optimize it better if you have a recorded everything data. If it is recorded, it is better for the next person to start new or fresh. So that these are the basic things for what to say, for doing any kind of tissue culture work. And so today I have just I just thought I will start a small talk, not much.